comedy. I brought this next guy. He's not it. We're gonna have Lopez up next as a hip hop artist. Before Lopez, I have a special treat for you guys. This guy's all the way from the Boston comedy scene. Please give it up for my good friend, Alan Richardson, everybody.
I'm from fucking Boston, isn't that crazy? Thank you guys for having me up here. I love coming up to Maine. As you might be able to tell by now, I'm not a rapper. I know it's surprising. However, I did, last night, I cammed my own forehead. I was really bummed to find out a hole in my sock, you know? And you guys laugh, but those things went back to 6 pairs. Another time in my life, you can afford 6 new pairs of socks right now. Because I'm 26 now, I still work retail. I'm broke. All my money goes right to bills. I didn't think that would happen to me. Didn't think I'd find 2 drug dealers whose names are both Bill. Don't get me wrong, they're like the nicest guys. They're just pricey as shit, you know? Oh man. Do you have any brothers? Do you have brothers, man? I always I don't know, but I'm always nervous that I don't want to be the least successful or least famous one of my brothers, right? Like you love them, but you want to overshadow them at least a little bit, so you have something to talk about at Thanksgiving. And I was thinking a lot about it. Do you know who Sam Raimi is? Sam Raimi, he directed the original Evil Dead trilogy, directed and wrote the Spider-Man trilogy. He's a very successful guy. He's got some brothers. His older brother co-wrote a lot of those movies with him and is also an emergency room doctor. That's a pretty high standard family. They have a younger brother who exclusively only plays bit parts in television and B-movies. And I just feel so bad for him. I feel like Thanksgiving, so his family's like, oh, Ted, how's your day going, you know? And I was thinking about that, but then I realized they had an even younger brother who drowned when he was 12. So I always wonder if that's where he's well, yeah, I didn't fucking direct any movies, but I also didn't ruin camp. Right? Oh, I'm not a doctor, no, but I can fucking swim. Right? You know what I did do? I did turn 13. I hope they never hear that joke. That's my biggest fear. You become an up-and-coming comic, then oh, your idol heard your joke, and he hates you. Don't make fun of his dead brother. Oh, man. I'm single, too. I know that's very surprising, since I'm wearing a suit. Most people dress in a suit for a better reason. But I am single. I've been single for a while, and I get why. I get the only chance I have tonight of a girl sleeping with me is she wants to go through a try something new phase. Right? She wants to fuck a homeless guy, but baby steps. And that's cool, because I got that fresh, just lost everything kind of look, right? I'm still wearing a suit. In the AMs, I was trading stocks. In the PMs, I blew a guy for a cheeseburger. Still time to change me, ladies, you know? Oh, man. I get it, too. Honestly, if a girl's gonna date me, if her standards are so low, she's gonna date me. She's trash. I can do better than that. I owe it to myself to do better than that. I did start dating a girl last month. And it went horribly. What happened is we're going out, and we've been on a couple of dates already, but at this time I knew that was the date. We were gonna fuck. And so we went out for the afternoon and went out for lunch and all that shit, and if you couldn't tell by now, I'm basically made of farts. And so I was holding in my farts all day in front of her, and I basically became this fart cauldron. Where just my whole insides were boiling up. Guys, you guys ever held in a fart so long you get physically ill? Shit, no one's ever on my side with that. I'm starting to get really nervous about my body. But so I've been holding in these farts all day. Then we get back to my house at night. We start fooling around, and I went to go down on her, and I don't know, something about my body wiggling downward just opened up the floodgates the end of X-Men 2, and I just kept farting. And I kept farting for so fucking long, and for the first couple of minutes she was really polite about it and stayed silent, but then I looked up at her and she was kind of making a face Like, what the fuck? And she stopped me, she's like, are you farting? Is that what that is? Like, it was happening so much she couldn't believe a human was farting that much. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, and like, I stood up at this point, and was like, oh, fuck it, I'm still farting. And you know, as a side note, so you guys get the same visual I got that night. When I stood up, my boner hit the bed and like, you know, like a surfboard or a diving board. But she was like, are you farting? And I was like, yeah, you know, I was holding in farts all day and want to fart in front of you, and then they kind of just all, you know, came out. She's like, well, it'd been fine if you had farted. I was like, really, would have been fine? She's like, it doesn't matter, it's just a fart. I was like, so do you want to keep going? She goes, no. I was like, oh. She's like, it would have been fine during lunch, but not, you know, this one. And all I had to say, like, all I learned from that is if you are going to hold in your farts and go down on a girl, make sure she drove herself to your house. Because that was the longest ride home of my life. Like, every red light just took forever. And I was still farting. I went to sleep farting that night. That's like, you know, you ever cried yourself to sleep? That's kind of sad. Have you ever Dutch ovened yourself to sleep? Because that's straight up depressing. Oh man. I am glad to be here though. I promised Ian I'd tell this next joke. I play a lot of Nintendo. If you didn't believe it by this point, I do spend most of my days alone. I was playing Nintendo. You guys know the game Donkey Kong, like the original one where you're Mario and you gotta jump over the barrels. Do you know what that game's about? That game is, the whole strategy guy in that game points out that Donkey Kong was Mario's pet. And then Mario wronged him. So Donkey Kong stole his girlfriend and Mario decided, I'm gonna kick your ass. Kind of an asshole when you think about it. Like, could you imagine, like, if I got my pet so mad, if I got my cat so upset it stole my girlfriend, I wouldn't try to fight it, be like, this is way fucked up, you're an animal and we're humans, what are we doing here? But then I was thinking about, like, maybe Mario's just kind of an asshole, and you think about, you know, the Super Mario Brothers game, you assume that you're saving the kidnapped princess and evil Bowser, but there's no dialogue or anything. Did you ever think about the fact that maybe Bowser is just Peach's new boyfriend, and you're the drunk ex-boyfriend Italian plumber asshole? Like, think about it, it makes way more sense that way. Think about it. Like, that guy owns 8 castles. You're a plumber. I don't think she was kidnapped, you know? Like, I feel like if that game had any dialogue at all, the whole thing would be Mario just going, get the fuck back in the car, Peach! Get in the fucking car! Shut up, I don't know you! Now, I'm gonna get my brother up here and we're gonna kick the shit out of you and all your friends! No, I'm gonna hide in the sewers so you don't see me coming. Right, like that's all it is. Think about it. When you get to Bowser's house in the end of each world, he's not at the front door waiting to fight you. He's in his fucking bedroom. And you just break in and start smashing everything in sight. Just stealing all of his money and looking for drugs. That's all it is. The whole series is Mario going, I'm gonna take some fucking mushrooms till I feel 7 times my goddamn size! I am Super Mario, brother! Like, that's why the game's called that. He's a psychopath that yells at all the time. Like, okay, you kill all of his kids to get to him. That's not a joke. That's just a fact of the game. And plus, like, all right, someone pointed this out to me the other day. Mario's method of attack is he stomps on your head. That happened in American History X. Like, that's the game we're playing. Like, think about, have you guys ever been to one of Mario's parties? Mario's parties, most fucked up things you can imagine. Have you guys ever been to a friend's party and he's been to go check it out, man, I got hot dogs in the grill, I got beers in the cooler, and hop one of those 4 rubber balls, you're about to kill 3 of your friends. That's all it is, and he invites Peach's boyfriend to every single one. Like, trying to prove how cool he is in front of her. He's like, yeah, Peach, your boyfriend's real fucking tough. How fast can he pop up a balloon? Alright, that's all the time I'm gonna do here for you guys. Thank you for having me up here. Thank you.